This is an update on my 10-gallon Sexy Shrimp Nano Reef. I've now had this tank just over 2 months, and so far everything is going well. At last count, all 11 Sexy Shrimp are still there. Usually 1 or 2 or 3 are hiding, but every once in a while they all come out and I can do a head count. You'll note I've finally added a couple of flower anemones. My original plan was to get a whole bunch, but I blew my budget on other fish stuff. Everything in the tank is doing pretty well. All the corals are growing. I'm only having issues with one piece. That would be the toadstool in the top left. The polyps don't really open too much. I'm not sure if it's just because it's been shedding or because the shrimp are harassing it. Here you can see there's a bunch on it. They don't appear to be actually eating the coral. There's no damage. I suppose they may be picking at the polyps, but it does still open, just not all the time like in my other tanks. If anything happens, I can just swap this out for another one. This Kenya tree frag is really looking nice. If you look at the bottom left, it's showing a lot of blue on the base. That's what originally drew me to this piece many years ago, and most of the frags don't show that. If this keeps up, I'll have to move some more into this tank. Here's a close-up on the flower anemones. They're nothing special. I guess you'd call these guys B-grade ones, but they look nice enough. I do hope to get more in the future, but so far the Sexy Shrimp haven't really paid too much attention to them. Every time I kept Sexy Shrimp in the past, I used to use the mini carpet anemones and they would stay in those all the time. But so far they've basically ignored the flower anemones. You can see under the rock there's a whole bunch of mysid shrimp. In this tank there are hundreds of them swimming around, despite the fact they don't have very many places to hide. Now I'm going to show you how to sex the Sexy Shrimp. The one on the right is a male, the one on the left is a female. There are 2 easy ways to tell this. Once I noticed this, it became real easy to tell who was a boy and who was a girl. But if you just glance at them, you can't really tell. Here we got a female on the right and an out of focus male in the center. The most obvious is probably the body shapes. The females are a little bit stockier and they don't look quite exactly the same. But the other difference is the banding. If you look at this female, there's a break in the banding towards the back. All the females have this. Here comes one male and one female. And you can see the male, the banding goes all the way around. So that's 2 females in the front and the 1 male. You also note these guys are pretty active. Of course I was feeding at this time, but usually at least half of them are out and about, dancing around and scurrying about and climbing the walls as well. Hopefully it's only a matter of time until I start seeing some eggs. It has been 2 months. I'm a little surprised none of them have shown any yet, but I guess they're still getting comfortable. Pretty much a couple days a week I find a molt, so they are definitely growing, which is a good sign. One other thing I'd like to point out is this tank, all in, the tank, the livestock, the lighting, I'm probably at less than $500. It's actually far less because I use some of my own stuff, but if I were to buy everything new, I could do this tank for about $500. Given how much entertainment these guys give you, you really can't beat that in a reef environment. If this was my main tank, I would probably have a bit more equipment on it, but as a secondary tank, this is a great little display and provides lots of entertainment. Hopefully soon I'll have the challenge of raising the young, and I'll be documenting that too. Other than that, probably not much is going to change in this tank. I may add a few more frags from my frag tank, and sometime in the future I'll get some more anemones. But for now I'm quite happy with the way things are going. I'll update this tank again in another month or so, and we'll see what happens then. Thanks a lot for watching, and happy reefing.